Now, a really good strategy, and this is a very simple strategy which doesn't really require any great copywriting skill or anything like that, but a really good strategy is a top. It can be a top 100, it can be a top 200, it can be a top 500, it can be a top 1,000, it can be a top 10, whatever it is. But you come up with a top list, hit list of companies that you would like to target. So let's imagine that it's a top 100 for simplicity's sake. So you go through and you identify your top 100 perfect customers, the customers that you would love to have on board. So you identify your top 100 perfect customers, you write them down, you get their names and addresses, etc., etc., and you can obviously, you don't necessarily have to do this, but you can give that feedback to someone and perhaps hire someone who has a much lower rate than you do, and you basically say, well, this is what I want. I want their names, and I want their addresses, and I want their phone numbers, and I want their email addresses, etc., etc. So you get your top 100 perfect customers, you put it in an Excel spreadsheet, you put it on your mailing list, whatever you want to do, but you've got your top 100 list of customers. So from there, you basically go down and you say, okay, I've got my top 100 list, and what you do is you think about what would these guys like to know that you can educate them in, and you send them something every single month for the next 12 months. You create a plan. So let's just say, for instance, let's imagine that you're one of those companies who helps companies save money in costs. So it helps cost cutting. Well, what you could do, there is you'd create a series of 12 articles for the year, which you can send out about cost cutting, to this particular niche group. Now, it doesn't have to be articles. It could be a CD. It could be, where you send them out an audio CD which educates them, which you could have transcribed, so you could do it very, very quickly. So, and that could be something that you send out and you break it out and you say, okay, month one, I want to talk about, so let's start to finish. You identify that your top customers turn over $10 million a year or more. Now, you might not be able to get this as a list, so then you go, okay, my top customers have 100 or more staff. 100 or more staff. So you go to the list broker and you say, I want a list of people with 100 plus staff in the wholesale industry. So the list broker comes back and says, well, this is what we can get for you. So you go, okay, great, that's all good. And you say, okay, well, wholesalers, and you sit down and you identify, well, what are 10 areas where we can really save these wholesalers a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of money, as a result of cost cutting. So what are the 10 things that we can or the 12 things that we can talk about? And you sit down and you identify them. So you say, okay, number one, we can talk about printing. How we can save the money in printing. And obviously I don't know this industry. Number two, we could do an overview of all the things that they're probably wasting money on. Number three, we can talk about staffing, and how they can manage their staff more effectively. Number four, we can talk about about stationery and how that can be cut quite significantly. Number five, we can talk about overtime. Number six, we can talk about multitasking, so we get more out of people, etc., etc. And then after that, you go through this whole process, and eventually you come down and you've got 12 things that you talk about. So under this, let's say printing, you talk about the types of printers, types of printers, types of printers, the worst types of printers. So you come up with 10 things under each one. So the worst types of printers, best types of printers. Best types of printers. You talk about the whether hiring a printer versus buying, paper costs, and where to get the best paper costs, and so on. So under printing, you jot down 10 different things that you can talk about, and then each on month one you say you come on and you say, today I'm going to show you how you can save money on your printing. First, let me talk about the types of printers. Next, let me talk about the worst types of printers. These are the worst types of printers. These are the best types of printers. Should you hire or should you buy? Well, here's why you should hire, and here's why you should buy. And in terms of the paper costs, here's what you're going to be looking at in terms of the costs of paper and the best types of paper and the worst types of paper and all of that sort of thing. And you're educating your target market on the whole aspects of printing. Now what happens is your target market gets this and they start listening to it. And they start listening to it and they go, oh, that's really interesting about printing. Oh, that's good. Oh, yes. And they're listening to it. And eventually they're going to think to themselves, maybe we should do something about that. And then they're going to go, well, they're either going to maybe do it themselves, but in all likelihood, if they're running the company and they're busy and all that sort of thing, they're probably going to need your help. And if they need your help, they're going to call you, they're going to contact you, and the relationship process is going to begin. So this is where this comes in so powerfully, and all of a sudden you've got a new potential client out of that. So you imagine if every month you're sending them, so one, it's about printing, the next month it's about staffing, the next month it's about stationery. If you're the customer and you're getting all this great information, and then at the end of that, at the end of each section, it's like, well, here's how you can find out more about me. Here's how I can help you, etc., etc. Eventually, a percentage of those 100 people are going to go, we need to use these guys to get help for what we're doing. So, and that's really what you want to be doing. So you're selling by helping and by serving your customers rather than going in and doing all the hype and all that sort of thing. So that's a really powerful powerful strategy. To help you get more customers, I'm giving away a free gift to everyone who watches this video. It's a brand new guide called 7 Ways to Get More Traffic and Customers, which includes a swag of cheat sheets for getting results fast. Download it for free by clicking the link in the description below this video or visiting moretrafficandcustomers.com.